I'm Lauren with IndoorGardening.com, and today we're going to talk about 7 different plants for really hot rooms. Summertime is just around the corner and a lot of places are getting really hot. It's almost like summer is already here for a lot of places. I know my plant room tends to get to about 100 degrees in the summertime, and some plants struggle with that and some plants don't struggle with that. I want to talk about today the plants that really handle it really well. First up on our list today is my personal favorite, Calathea. These are big, leafy, bushy jungle plants, and they actually really love heat and humidity. They tend to grow in tropical rainforests. They are an understory plant. They love to be watered constantly. They don't want to dry out completely all the time. They'll start to give you crispy edges if you let them dry out too much, but they love the heat. And I guarantee you, as soon as your rooms start heating up and you get a little bit more heat going on, those Calatheas are going to start popping out all kinds of new growth for you, and you're going to see their little rolls unfurling, and it is going to be beautiful. Next up, we have caladiums. They are beautiful plants. They come in a variety of colors, but they do get huge. They love their heat. They'll actually go dormant if it is too cold for them. So in order to bring them out and have them show off their beautiful colors and their almost translucent leaves, which is just so cool, you are definitely going to want to bring on the heat because they will love it and they will grow so much. You can even get just 1 or 2 bulbs and have multiple plants growing from that one bulb in a variety of colors. It's really cool to watch and experiment with. Highly recommend. The one caveat with this plant is it does not want to dry out. It will drink water like crazy. Because the leaves are almost translucent and they are so thin, they do not hold on to water very much. So constantly have it sitting in water and it will grow like crazy for you. And make sure you keep the room toasty because they love that. Hoya Pubicalyx in particular, there's a lot of different Hoyas out there, but Hoya Pubicalyx is the one that thrives in heat the best, in my personal opinion. It goes absolutely bonkers. You give it a lot of light and you give it a lot of warmth, and it will take off like crazy. They love their humidity too, but if you can't give it too much humidity, this is one Hoya that will be okay with that. It won't need a whole lot from you. You let them dry out and you just give them a little bit more water. As long as they have sun and warmth, they are going to keep growing for you. They'll extend their little vines out, and then from those vines the leaves will grow. So don't be concerned if you have your Hoya growing out the vines. That's where the new growth is going to come from. It will wind and twist around things, so if you have something nearby it can grab onto. It's actually a climbing plant, so they tend to go pretty crazy and grab onto all kinds of stuff. Even if you have it as a trailing plant, you might find that it starts to get entangled in your other plants, especially as the warmer temperatures come on. Next up, we have ficus, in particular the tree varieties. There are creepers and some climbers in the ficus family, but the tree ficus, in particular the fiddle leaf ficus, really love to have a warm room to rest in. They need quite a bit of light because they are trees, but they definitely love to have the room warm. Having a room humid and warm is actually going to do a lot more for the ficus than just having it in bright light, even though it's a cooler temperature. So definitely make sure that you're keeping your rooms really warm when you bring your ficus home, because they are going to push out new growth like crazy for you, and it is going to be so cool. They come in a variety of different colors. You can get green on green variegation, you can get white and a reddish color variegation. There's the ruby out there, which is like a cream and a pink. It's really cool looking. And then you have your standard green fiddle leaf fig that will just pop up and grow so quickly. Be warned. But if you want to get more foliage on it, then you just chop it down and it will produce more foliage, and you can actually go and propagate that top and have another ficus. So you can continue on. Probably going to see this plant on every single list out there because it is such a hardy and versatile plant, really invasive where it comes from. So wherever you plant it, it tends to be an invasive plant, unfortunately, but inside that just means that it is a super prolific grower and it just tolerates everything that you could possibly throw at it. Pothos or Epipremnum are really amazing plants. These particular ones will vine and they will trail. You can have them climb up or you can have them trail down. Their foliage will get really, really large if you allow them to climb. In nature, they do climb trees. And then as they trail, they will get smaller and smaller foliage, but they produce a lot of color. They come in a variety of shapes and sizes for you, and you can make them fit almost any aesthetic, and they love it when it's warm. They come from the tropics. They love it to be humid. They love it to be super warm. So if you can give them that, they're going to grow very, very well for you, and you are going to end up having to take a lot of propagations because they grow so quickly, they will end up taking up your entire room if you allow them to. Tradescantia are so cool. They come in a wide variety of colors. Generally, they tend to stick to the pinks and the purples. They do have green and white albo striped ones as well, which will actually glitter in the sunlight. These plants love a lot of light and they love it to be warm, as much warmth as you can possibly give them. They come from down south, so you know that they love that sun and that heat, and they are going to grow very prolifically for you if you give them those two things. They actually don't need a very high humidity, so if you have a lower humidity, that's perfectly fine. Try to bottom water them instead of watering from the top, because if you water on the top, they'll end up getting little brown spots and that'll ruin the cool color effect. So just bottom water them and continue on. We do have a whole video about watering plants if you're confused about that terminology, but they are really amazing plants. They grow very, very quickly. So even if you just propagated them a few days ago, you're already going to be seeing new growth, and it's just basically cutting them, sticking them right back up top, and then they will continue to grow and get thicker and trail and vine. And like I said before, they come in a variety of colors, so whatever your aesthetic that you have going on, or if you have a favorite color, they will probably have it in a Tradescantia form for you. Number one plant category for hot rooms in general is probably not going to come as a shock to anybody, but succulents and cacti. You know they grow in the desert environments, you know they love their sun, you know they love their heat, so if you put them in a very hot room with a lot of light, they are gonna go nuts. Lighting is key with succulents and cacti in order to get them to produce new growth and to keep them compact. They will etiolate or elongate if you don't give them enough light, but having that heat is also going to help them grow like crazy, and it definitely won't hurt them if you give them a lot of heat. Rooms that tend to be on the 90s and the 100 degrees Fahrenheit side, these plants are going to do really, really well. And another bonus with them, they actually dry out really quickly and they can handle drying out for a really long time. So you don't have to be watering them constantly every day depending on the media that you have them in, even though you have them in a very hot room, which a lot of other plants on this list you would have to water regularly. And these are some plants that just tend to love being neglected. This is definitely not an all-inclusive list, but definitely wanted to make sure that we got some of these out here for you with summer coming so that you knew what to expect, or if you're a new plant parent, you know some of the plants that might thrive in your environment this summer. Make sure you check out indoorgardening.com while you wait for our next video. There's lots of information there for you. We're always happy to help. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!